The LeBron element, and do I want to be the alpha? That's a factor. And then obviously the organization in general. We've talked a lot about the void that was left when Griff left and all the little things that have fallen apart. Teammate Richard Jefferson, he weighed in all this. He has that road tripping podcast. It's very good. I recommend it. But you can take a listen to what he had to say in this part about Kyrie and the organization, which was very enlightening here.
Kyrie is a hyper-intelligent kid, really, really smart, doesn't get enough credit for how smart he is. And I think seeing that the franchise is in flux, I think seeing Griff leave and, you know, the amount of coaches, I think Kyrie has had a much tougher time in this stretch of the organization. He's a #1 pick right after LeBron. Then he has 3 different coaches. Then LeBron comes back. You know, now there's trade rumors. Now it's LeBron's leaving. It's like at some point in time, even anybody would want some sort of stability. He's had a tougher time, if you look at from start to where we are right now, of the ups and downs of a franchise more than most. Even though we've been successful and even though we've won a championship and he's been an all-star, there's still been so much of a wave. And to be like, yo, we're going to sit here for a whole year on whether or not LeBron's coming back, that's got to be tough on anybody, everybody.
Now, Jackie, it's interesting. I mean, look, there was Kyrie rumbling about getting out of Cleveland before LeBron came.
There was.
So his frustration with this organization isn't new. What do you think when you hear that?
I think Richard Jefferson is dead on because he knows everybody involved. And, you know, I did a story earlier in the year about Channing Frye and how he brought that locker room together. And I talked to a lot of people and heard about a lot of situations where teams were together and doing things. It's funny, I really never heard Kyrie's name. Yep. You know, and I think that, and that's not, I'm not saying that he's not liked on the team. I'm not saying any of that, but he's a quiet guy. He's a little more of an introvert than the others, and he likes to do things a certain way. And so when he finally does speak, and when he finally does make a decision, I think sometimes it catches you off guard.
I mean, you have to look at his background. Like, why is he that way? I mean, his mother died when he was very young, like 3 years old. You know, his father raised him, and a lot of his time was spent sort of teaching himself basketball by himself. He didn't necessarily come up through that. Through it, you know, with a bunch of teams.
Very good basketball player.
Great basketball player.
And that's how old I am because I covered his father at BU. Whoa! So there you go.
When your godfather's Rod Strickland, things are going okay, and you're a basketball great.
He's a very intelligent guy. Think about the choices he made. Going to Duke. Now, people can say whatever you want about Duke, but it's Mike Krzyzewski. He's always going to be connected to that program. And think about the teams that he picked. San Antonio, Miami. He knows what's going on in Minnesota. And then, of course, the New York thing, which we talked about, is a real estate thing. That's where he grew up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's has every right to do what he's doing. Every right.
Yeah.
He's playing along someone who has completely dictated his career in a way like I've never seen. It's one of the things I admire most about LeBron James, that he has dictated what he's doing. And so Kyrie has learned from the best and is simply now, it's his turn to dictate what's going to happen.
It is, and look, he definitely has the right to determine his own work environment. I'm a big believer in that. I wonder if down the road, after he goes through some of the experiences he has yet to come, he's going to look back on this and think, you know what, maybe I should have given it one more year with one of the top 5 players ever, wherever you put him on that list.
It's a fair question.
And you talk about the breakups, you guys both mentioned some of the breakups of earlier teams. Kobe and Shaq have both come out since and said, hey, you know what, I really regret the way that went down. We could have won a couple more titles. Tracy McGrady has sat at this table and said, I regret leaving Toronto and wanting my own team because we could have won more there.
If you care about winning, what you're talking about, he stays in Cleveland one more year because you're going to the finals if everyone's healthy.
The only thing I'm going to say, though, in the numbers, we're all seeing the numbers because we've got great stats guys that work for our company, ESPN, about the numbers with Kyrie on the floor, with LeBron, and all the numbers are dismal. His defensive numbers are horrible. But I said this earlier, Frank, we don't really know what it's like for Kyrie Irving because that team is built for LeBron James. So it's wrong to say when LeBron goes off the floor, everybody's numbers plummet. So let's see. I mean, I think it really depends on where Kyrie Irving lands, okay? If he lands in San Antonio, are we sure he's going to be saying any of the things we're suggesting right now?